Hello, my crafty friends. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here. This week, we're going to make this beautiful wreath for Easter. It's easier than you think, and I know you can do it. So let's get started, and we'll make a beautiful springtime wreath for our front door. Hello, my crafty friends. Thanks so much for joining me today. Hey, it's springtime. Can you believe it? And Easter's right around the corner. So I thought we would make a really cute wreath for your front door for springtime. Of course, this isn't going to be suitable for putting out in the weather. It's probably not going to be good to get it wet. So I just want to put that premise out there. And so I gathered up all the supplies that you're going to need for this. I basically went through my ribbon stash and pulled out anything that looked remotely like springtime. And I'll probably narrow it down a little as we get further into it. And then I have these just plastic Easter eggs that I bought from Michael's, and they open up and they just snap together, and they have these two little holes in them, so we'll be able to wire them on. So the only supplies that you're going to need for this, don't break it, for this is a glue gun, your ribbon, a wreath form, a pair of scissors, and some wire. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so welcome back. So I'm going to take this wreath form, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of these wires, and I'm going to just attach them at the joints. And I didn't do that right. Here's a trick for you to know. Attach them so that they won't let's see, how am I going to do this? Attach them so that they won't slide around. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap this around twice. This is pretty flexible wire. There we go. So that just connects it onto there. So we're just going to want these wires. And then you can also take some and attach them here. In fact, that's probably a better idea. And keep these, err on the side of these being long, because you're going to end up, you can always snip off the wire that you have that's left over, but you're going to need more wires than you think you will, and you're going to need more length on your wires than you think you will. So just go around and wrap this one around to keep it there. And this is going to look like a jumbled mess to start with. So go ahead and do your wires like all over. Just be generous with them. And so let's do that, and we'll come back and we'll move on to attaching the, starting to attach the ribbons. Okay, so we're back. So I went in and I organized all my, finished the wiring. I also added some wires on the outside. And if you wrap it on the two outermost rings here and give it a really tight twist, it'll stay there and it won't move around too much. Where I thought it was a little loose, I hit it with just a little bit of hot glue. So okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to decide what colors we're going to use to start the inside of the wreath. And I'm going to start with the white. So this is Deco Mesh. You can buy it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any of those stores. And let's just cut this open. I don't want you to get in this stuff. Okay. And I'm just going to take it and, ooh, this is wrapped up really nicely. And I'm going to cut it into Oh, just that much. I'm going to cut it into manageable pieces, probably about 3 feet or so. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to have fishtail ends on all of my work. So I'm just going to take this, fold it in half, and create that fishtail. I'm going to start another one by creating a fishtail in the other direction. And of course, I'll have to come back in and cut this beginning piece. This white is really pretty. I think I bought it to use during the holidays. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of strips of it. You don't have to do the fishtail if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. And I'm probably going to go ahead and cut up this entire roll. I think I'll probably use one roll of this. There's one piece left. I'll just leave it a little longer. Cut the edges. Did I get the other side? Yep. Okay, so we're going to start with these. And we're going to take it and we're going to just bunch it up in our hands and wire it in. Take your 2 wires, spread them out. And we're just going to start putting there nice and tight. And we're going to alternate between the lower or the inside and the outside pieces. And you can see it takes a while for this to come together, but once it does, it's really cool. And this has a right side and a wrong side to it. You can see it's kind of flat on one side and it's shiny and sparkly on the other. Okay, and I have a piece on the end. Then I'm going to just leave this end out. Take the next piece, and I'm just going to start on the next rung over. And because I started on the inside last time, I'm starting on the outside this time. And I'm not doing the outermost petals. I'm doing the 2, the ones that come to together in the center. More. So just keep going all the way around. Very tight. So you want to get that in there nice and tight. Okay, so I have way more here than I need. So I'm going to cut this off and we'll use this. So don't Don't discard it. Okay, so I'm going to keep these other pieces because we're going to come back in and use those as we move forward. So let's go to the pink now. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, you know, we probably could just roll it on as we need to. But I like having those. So on this one, I'm going to go to these outermost ones. And I'm going to go crisscrossy here. And then I want to go in through here to this one. And you just want to keep crisscrossing these. That's the whole idea, to get this wreath covered. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. Just have fun with it. That's what crafting's all about, right? So I'm going to create a tail here because I like having all those little pieces that kind of stick out. That's what helps give it some dimension. Okay, and then we'll start again. Create another tail. And I think I'll go here. This one. You can see this pink on the bolt looks, you know, really dark. But once you get it on your wreath, it's all going to blend in together. And your wires are just going to get all wonky here. There's nothing you can do about that. Just try not to get them tangled up. We'll create another tail here. Cut our tail here. I don't know if you can see this or not. This stuff's pretty transparent. It's okay that you have gaps because we're going to fill in all these gaps. Don't worry about the gaps just yet. It's like making paper flowers. It's all about filling in those gaps, which is what we're going to do as we go along. So when I think of Easter, I think of obviously pastels, but I think of pinks and lavenders, yellow. I don't have a lot of yellow ribbon, but yellows are good. I have a big sunflower that when I think of sunflowers, I know I think of fall because that's when they basically come to fruition. But I might put a big sunflower in here or a pretty yellow peony. But since I'm a paper florist, I will make mine out of paper. But if you're not a paper florist, buy a silk one from the store. That'll work too. Okay, so we have 2 layers on here, and we're just going to go in and fluff this up. Okay, so we've got our base on here, and we're going to start filling it in a little more. So I'm going to cut some ribbon, and I'll come in and show you what I've cut, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to come in with our next row. And I've taken these 2 blues. I want to bring in some blue. And I've taken these 2 blues and I've attached them together. So I'm going to come in and these places where I don't have any wire attached, I'm going to just thread that through on the outsides and then bring it into the next one. I want to come here. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. But you can see once we start getting with the solid ribbons, we're going to start really filling in some of those blank spaces a little bit. And we're going to come back in with this ribbon again. When we start adding in all our little bows. I just want to keep filling in the spaces. I don't know if you saw my Mardi Gras wreath or not, but I did this same thing with my wreath for Mardi Gras, which I basically used all the way, because it had so much green on it, I used through St. Patrick's Day. So it's springtime now. It's definitely time to change the wreath. And you can see some places it's close together, the loops are small, and sometimes in some places the loops are larger, and that's okay. And I bought a lot of this ribbon at Costco. I tell you, they have the best deals on ribbon. The rolls are mega rolls. They're huge. And I like to buy them seasonally and then just keep them. So I don't have to, if I want to make something, I don't have to go out and go shopping. So we're almost around here. And your wires are going to seem a little jumbled. Just try to keep as much order to them as you can. I'm going to take this back over into here. Just tuck that in. And then cut fishtails. Okay, so we've got the base of our wreath done, and I would take this opportunity to kind of straighten out your wires a little bit. And then our next step is going to be to go in and just cut lengths of ribbon and of ribbons that you want to use. And here's an example of what I did. I cut just strips of ribbon, anywhere from 4 or 5 inches to 6 or 8 inches. And I'm going to take those and I'm going to layer them with blue and maybe some peachy coral in there. So pick out the colors that you want to use. The world is your oyster here. And just cut out lengths of ribbon, and we'll come back and we'll start attaching them. Okay, so we are back. I have cut a bunch of ribbon. I cut strips of white. I cut up those leftover pieces that we had of that we used in the beginning. I cut strips of both blues. And I cut anywhere between 10 to 20 strips of each. I've got some yellow, some lilac and some green. I think some green will really kind of set that off. And then I have these little small narrow ribbons of a pink and coral. So to start this, we're just going to grab a series of ribbons. Doesn't matter how you stack them up. And you're just going to pinch those together, and you're going to just wire them in. And I'm going to vary it. I'm going to use a different white. I'll use some green, and I'll stick the lavender back here. And how about a little of the coral? Stick that in there. Just, you do 3, 4, doesn't matter. I have pieces everywhere. And I'm just going to go around and start tucking these in. Just varying the colors. Whoops. Grab another piece of a different white. Put some blue in here. Let's do green. Looks like I'm going to use a lot of the green. Maybe there's a coral in that last one. I'll put pink in this one. That was really long. Let's just do these colors. Here, I'll add a yellow. And you can use any, you know what, I'm going to take the yellow out. Any colors you want. In fact, I'm going to add even bigger piece of white in here. What we're trying to do here is just create dimension. Fluff them up. And you want to put something, I need to put that over, put something in each space. Some green, maybe yellow. I'm going to cut some of these pink ones in half. And on these, I didn't fishtail them. I just cut them on a diagonal. Oh, I add a little pink in here. Grab the lavender back there. bottom mist. I think you can see that. See, there's a spot here that's kind of empty. Add that right in there. Okay, we're just going to keep, this one is not sitting very nicely. Let's do that again. Change the sandwich order. So we're going to come in and fluff these up as we move along. But we're just going to get them on there for now. We're just wiring things on. I have no idea how I wired that in there. Let's put this through. Go. We're just going to keep going, sandwiching these together. Out here, let's take some blue. Oh. Kind of creating a little bow there. Okay, just keep going. So just keep going around and around, and I'll keep working on this one. And after I've gone around once, I will come back in and give you an update and show you where we are. Okay, we've gone around once. And I've used up almost all my colors. I just have like one yellow, one purple left. So and a couple greens. So I'm going to, you can see our primary focus here has been blues, and I'm going to go with that a little more. So I'm going to start adding in just blues and filling in even more spots. Just go back around and, you know, with your primary color focus. And what that's going to do is that will give your primary colors the front row seat here, and the secondary colors will act as a pretty background. So I'm just going to just keep going in, go back around. And this is especially important here that you want to get in there really tight with your wire, because we're going to eventually cut these wires off. And when we do, we're going to fluff these up so you won't see that wire. So we'll come back in and do that. I'm going to add some right in here. Kind of a blank space. So I'm just going to grab a piece of wire. Actually, I think, yeah, grab a piece of wire. And you can come back in. There's, like I said, there's no right and wrong way to do this. We just want to come in and fill in everything that's blank now. So while, you know, those colors look really bright, and I'm sure you were kind of, I always get that, I'm sure you do too, I always get that, oh my God, is this going to work? Of course it's going to work. And it's going to be gorgeous. If you just persevere, keep on going. So by bringing this blue in, more of the blue in, we are going to focus on the blue and take those colors into the background. So they're just going to be accent colors. Again, get in there as tight as you can. So you can see already in this portion here how the blue is the primary color and our accent pieces, accent colors just kind of peek out all the way around. So I'm going to keep going with that, and I'll come back once I've gone around once with that. Okay, so welcome back. So I am back, and I went ahead and went around with the blue and the white a couple of times, and then I actually went in with just some white and I filled it all in. So you can see the colors that looked so predominant early on are just peeking through now, which I think adds some nice little color. And when we zhuzh it up, we'll pull some of those forward. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some Easter eggs. And I bought these plastic Easter eggs from Michael's, and I put a wire on them, and I hope they're going to hold together. And we're going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we'll give it a shot. So I thought what I'd do is just look for a couple of places like in between here where I could. And maybe, here we go. Yeah, there we go. And pull these wires through. And I want them to kind of look like an egg, not like a, and then just attach the wire in the back. That's kind of tight. And we'll come back in and trim these wires. But, so we're just going to nestle those eggs in there. And I've got a purple one here. And I want to kind of put it in here. I'm going to take this off camera for a second because I want to get in behind this ribbon back here. I'll pull it back in. This ribbon back here, I want to separate these. There we go. I'm just going to take my wires and pull it through. So it sits just like that. And then from the underside, I'm just going to wire it. Oh, no, I'm not going to wire it that way because I don't have it around two. There we go, 2 of the wires. So I'm just going to wire it loosely in there. And I think it'd be really cool, I didn't do it, to possibly maybe take some of these eggs out and spray paint them gold. I think that would be really fun. So I'm going to add in a bow. We're going to add a bow, and we might even add in like a flower or 2. So I'm going to show you how to do that after we get a few more of these eggs nestled in here. So I'm just going to like look for a spot where I can get down into and just give them a little twist. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Like I said, we're going to come back in from these wires in the back when we're done. So you just kind of have to dig around back there to find, underneath there, to find a place where you can shove that in there. I mean, you could add all kinds of cool things in here. You could add like peeps in here, you know. And just wire that. You don't have to put, it doesn't have to be in there tight because you want to be able to like move it around. Let's take an orange one here. There we go. Pull it in. There we go. And let's see here. Gonna mix these colors up. I got a pink one, so I got purple there, orange, I got pink here. I should probably put pink here. Let's go up here a little further. And we're going to come in and just and nestle these in. This is just getting them on there. I think I'd like to add an orange one like right here. I have another one. So here I can show you how I wired these. So these have little holes in them. They're made to be filled for the holidays, I guess, for Easter. And who says you have to use something for its intended purpose, right? And you just pull the wire through there, close it up. If they don't stay closed, you can probably hot glue them. But that's for another day. Okay, so I'm leaving room down here to put a bow. So I'm going to nestle this one like right in here, if I can get in there. And just hunt for a spot to make your way through there with your wires. And then just pull it in. So there. Okay, so we are going to start, let me get my wire cutters. There we go. We are going to start cutting some of these wires. I'm going to show you how I do this. I don't know if you can get in here or not, but let's turn this so it's in camera better. There we go. I'm just going to go in. I'm going to take my wire cutters and I'm going to cut it. I want to make sure it's twisted on there really good. It's not going to come untwisted. And I'm going to cut these down really low. You could have used white wire. I didn't really have a nice supply of white wire. But you can see how you cover it. Cover them up easily like that. So you can go through, find your wires. I'm going to take another piece. I have one of these little pieces left. Let me put it right in here. I find that this organza stuff really covers the wires up really well. Allergies. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. See, here's one here. Get in there a little more. So just go around and you can trim up these wires and then just smush these up. It's like here, I want to. Okay, so you can do that on your own, but I'm going to show you where I'm going to put my bow, and I'm going to show you how I do a bow. So I've got a fine gauge wire. I'm going to make it out of this pretty blue wire. I'm going to give it a nice long tail. And this is super simple. So just create, this works better actually with a wired ribbon. I might, let me see if I have, let's try this. Let's see how it works. I was going to see if I have, I think I have a white wired ribbon. I'm going to put you on hold for a second. Okay, we'll can that idea. I thought I had ribbon. I have this white ribbon that's wired, but it's really stiff, and I really am wanting more of a floppier bow. So we'll just make this a really thick bow. So just take, give yourself a good tail, then take some small pieces. You're going to go from small to large, and just remember here, and just create little loops. Now, if this were a single side ribbon, I would twist it, but you don't really need to do that. And I find to get a really pretty ribbon, you need to have probably 6, 8 loops on each side. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 6, depending on how big you want it to be. 6. 7. 8. Because this is floppy ribbon, I think I'll make a couple of them just that same size. I know this takes a lot of ribbon. Okay, and then give yourself another long tail. Oops. And another thing that I do after I get this far is figure out right exactly where the middle is. And then I'll take another piece of longer ribbon and put it on the back so that you have 4 tails. Take your wire. This is easier if you have 2 people, but I've kind of gotten used to doing it with 1 person. So take it, flip it over. Make sure it's as even as possible. 1 wire above it. And then crisscross. And you're going to want to pull as tightly as you can. And while holding it tightly, cross your ribbon 1 more time. And give it a good twist. Okay. It's not exactly in the middle, but I think once we get it on. Okay, so we have to figure out how we're going to hang, how we want to hang it. So we want to hang it like this, or do we want to put it on like this? I think, yeah, like that. Put it on the bottom. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the eggs. Pardon me if my head gets in the way. And see, I've got a spot in there where I can get to the wire. I'm going to take these 2 wires, place them on either side of that wire, and pull it in. And then I'm going to wire it back here. Oops, I don't have it around more than 1 wire. This way. There we go. And then tighten that wire back there. Again, this is just to get it. We're going to come back in and clip those wires. Just to get this ribbon in there. Again, this would work better with a wired ribbon. Nice big floppy ribbon. And then I'm going to flank it on the side with a big fluffy peachy peony. And I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to flip this over for you. And I've got it on here like this, and I'm just going to take this and don't really want to cut this too much. Let's see if I can bend this down. I'm going to secure it by bringing it under and flipping that up in there. There, getting it on there. You're never going to see that. Okay. And then I have some like eucalyptus. Once we hang this, we'll, you know, that bow's not going to work. Let's take that bow off. So this is why when you do this, and I will keep that ribbon for another time. I'm just going to use a white stiffer satin ribbon, I think. Let's see if this is a little stiffer, maybe not. Yeah, this ribbon's way stiffer. But let's do this. Let's take this ribbon that we already have, undo it, and I just basically throw it all over the floor and pull it up from there. I'm going to give myself a big long tail. So I'm basically going to face this ribbon with that. Now, I don't want them all white showing on one side and blue on the other, so I am going to give this a twist each time I do it to bring the blue forward. In fact, what might be kind of fun to do is this blue ribbon is really slippery. Is do like a couple with the blue on the front, and then we'll do, and this is fine when we, that's okay, when we, then a couple with the white on the front. We'll do a couple with the blue in the front. Blue in the front. Twist. Front. And we'll finish the white on the front. White on front. Twist. Since we have more of the blue white ribbon, let's do a couple more. In fact, we'll just go blue, white, blue, white. Oh, I'll flip it. Blue. And we'll stop there. and we'll try again. And I think I'm pretty even. This part takes practice. Okay. Yeah, this can work a lot better. Okay, so just make sure you get this twisted really well. We're going to take it back in, just like we did before. I'd like it to be a little further up here, so let's go all the way. There we go. Okay, now we'll flip it over and tighten it up. Flip. Oh, yeah, this is way better, don't you think? And just, and that white ribbon, because it's a little thicker, a little stiffer, bring these back down through this way, because it's a little stiffer, it will hold its shape a little better. Okay, so we just want a nice fluffy ribbon here. I mean, if you wanted to, you could conceivably separate these out. Make it even fuller. Check your tails. We just have a nice big fluffy bow there. Okay, so now we can come in with our eucalyptus, I think, and we can tuck that right in like here. Again, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to this is a thinner wire, so I can pull that through. And then, if I want to use this eucalyptus again, I haven't cut that stem down so tight that so far that I can't use it. And then you can just wrap this around in there like that. And I think I'll stop there. I may, you know what? I got another piece of eucalyptus. Let's put it right in on this side of this ribbon. If I can find a hole in there. There we go. Oops. Yanked a little too hard. And we'll just wrap that. Back here because nobody's going to see it. Okay, so I'm going to go in and cut all my wires. Then I'm going to take this baby outside. We're going to show you what it looks like when it's hung. So there you have it. We made a beautiful wreath for our front door. It took a little bit of time, and there was a snafu or two along the way, but isn't that what crafting's all about? I hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it with you. And when you make your wreath, I'd love to see it. So don't forget to share on social media. Use the hashtag craftingwithsusanb, and don't forget to tag me at Susan Bond Designs. I would really appreciate if you would like and subscribe right below to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to leave some comments, because I so love hearing from you. And I promise I'll respond to every single one. And in the meantime, happy crafting and be well.